That was Griffin versus DRX, game number 1, the game that everyone has been waiting for, the real deal. So what is Orn versus Aphelios? What's your choice? Oh, this is a tough one. Well, for now, I gotta say Aphelios because today, I mean, I've never seen Orn so weak as today's game. I mean, it was a very typical strong team versus weak team series. So strong team just do their role perfectly, snowball throughout the game, and the weaker team just lose doing nothing. So this game followed the typical storyline. Orn really is a strong champion pick in terms of opening fights. However, Griffin did not make their best decision in terms of opening fights and fighting during the team fights. I mean, they were thinking like they gotta fight, but they weren't really good at engaging with all the ability they got. And it seemed like they didn't have much confidence to go in. Even though a lot of people were so hyped about this match, players shouldn't be too affected by the outside factors of the game. First, we want to highlight how Keria and Deft plays around the vision so well. Especially the way Keria plays the mind game around the vision is on point. So Keria stays outside of the red side's vision, but at the same time, he stays close enough to save Daft when he gets hooked. But everything was just done outside of Griffin's vision, so Griffin had the pressure of roam or potential turret dive and everything, so they were forced to stay behind. So Keria, after placing a ward, he roamed to the mid lane with that sweeper. Even though Orn went in to take down Doran, Keria's perfect backup turned the fight around. That was the perfect timing for Thresh to save his opponent and also pick up kill. 3 versus 3 and 3 versus 4 is a whole different fight. So Keria just simply with that smart play outnumbered the opponent. At the same time, Griffin kind of wasted their ward, placing where the opponents to expect where the ward would be. So Griffin made some of the mistakes in terms of their decisions. Maybe it's because of their mentality or all the pressure coming outside of the game. So everything affected today's game results, and we wanna take a look at another highlight. At the 25-minute mark, this was the perfect chance for Griffin to turn the game around because DRX players were standing on the ward. They had all the information that DRX is trying to make a bait play. But even though they got all the information, they did not play it well. It seemed like Griffin players were a bit hesitating to make an attempt to open fights. So, despite all the advantage that Griffin had with that vision, actually DRX players just won that fight. So after missing that opportunity to turn the game around, Griffin was not able to come back online. Well, maybe it can come down to the mechanical difference or the performance level difference, but this time, well, it was more about their decision issue that actually decided the result of the game. We have a little bit of spoiler on the screen. So Rumble, Chovy picked up a POG. 600 POC points so far. LCK fans must have been waiting for the Doran versus Sword matchup on the top side, but this time around it was Chovy, the rookie top laner, going up to the top side of the map. And he also picked up a solo kill. We can say DRX was really smart in terms of their tactics as well. Putting Chovy with Rumble on the top side and Doran Soraka rotating to the mid lane. Chovy picked up 7 votes out of 9. So one of our English casters voted for the bot lane and Observer as well. So one of the things actually top Chovy mid Doran is more viable since it looks so consistent in game number 1. So DRX maybe could think of role swapping for some games. Griffin, well, picking the champion that have a huge teamfight ability, huge engage is important, but at the same time, they also boost their confidence to come back online and make a great match in game number 2.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I didn't quite get it correct this time around. LS is extraordinarily chuffed.
All right, you know what?
But I thought, Deft still had a very good game. And
he did.
Maybe I was biased because I'd watched the second half of it more recently than the first half.
Against Trainer Red or Chobizard.
Well, I mean, that does seem to be a thing. As we are back into the ban and pick, no subs or anything like that. As Griffin will be on our blue side, so the potential for a first pick on is going to be there. As DragonX, they ban the Aphelios on their side. Seems to be their idea that trading Aphelios for on is worthwhile. And when you've got a Deft on your team, I guess it would make some sense, as Olaf is going to be the second ban on blue.
Bans continue to be extremely bewildering. DragonX now finally, though, on the red side, with the very standardized bans, as heavy jungler focus this time around.
Elise is an odd final ban for Griffin, as DragonX thinking about whether or not to ban away something like a Soraka or a Set in this instance. I think Soraka would be a safe one. We'll see where they do decide to go. 7 seconds to go as Azir is taken off the board.
Well, take a look at what's going to end up happening for the B1. It will be the Senna.
All right.
Now, DRX, they might just respond Ezreal Yuumi.
They could. They could also lock in some sort of pike lane as well, expecting the Tahm Kench to come out here from Griffin. See what they want to do, whether they want to fight fire with fire or not. But I like the center as the first pick option here. It's DragonX thinking about Set. Soraka's still available, but they still lock in the Set regardless. They could do both if they would like to.
And this is definitely a bit surprising to see Soraka just passed up as Varus is going to be picked up.
Deft opting for raw damage.
Now, the Varus is able to be flexed.
True.
We've seen it once in the LCK. It was UCal on the Neo version of Varus, where you take lethal tempo, but you go only lethality items and only poke unless they jump on you.
In which
then
case
you have
you'll
attack
have
speed.
the extra attack speed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, definitely a lot of value there. Sword taking Aatrox into Set. Now, Set is able to be flexed. So, if Chovy would want to pick up Set in mid, they could Soraka this Aatrox. And there's Yuumi.
Yeah, they could
Not
also...
with Ezreal, though.
They could also just Yuumi if they would like to. Does certainly turn Varus into an extraordinarily dangerous champion if he ever gets ahead, because just the raw damage output of a Varus, if you utilize his rotation effectively, is a lot higher than a lot of other bot lane AD carries. So Deft will be very, very strong in this lane, and 2-item spike, similar to what we talk about with an Ezreal. Once you get the Blade of the Ruin King and the Rage Blade, you are most certainly online in that mid-game. As Zach is banned. Interesting. One of Tarzan's old favorites. And one of your favorites. Saw you playing that one in the mid lane.
Yeah,
Bit of a Zach savant, yeah?
Zach is able to be quadriflexed.
Beautiful.
Right now. Mid-top, jungle, and support. And also another one of the champions that can be evolved with Senna.
True.
So maybe not something we're probably ever going to see from the LCK, but maybe Europe or NA.
Yep. Well, DragonX, their final ban opportunity is here, as jungle could be looked at for this squad, and the Jarvan will be banned away. Remember, Lee Sin was banned in the first round in the last game, so you might imagine that Griffin will look to ban the Lee Sin here. Rek'Sai is still available, still certainly enough junglers here. As they did put a lot of emphasis on Renekton, did Griffin.
And what is going to be the final ban in Italy?
And Pioshik is a Kindred one-trick, not a Nidalee one-trick. That's cuz.
Yeah, I think that's definitely just mixed up the name.
That's the former DragonX jungler.
Yeah.
Whoopsies, we got the name wrong.
Prep was a little bit off.
Yeah.
As, oh, it might be set into mid. Kennen being locked in now for DragonX. And if you're going to do this, why didn't you just take Soraka when you already have the Yuumi? Especially because the silence ruins Aatrox.
Maybe assuming that Yuumi will be enough healing for the team. Something like that. Not entirely sure, but I do certainly see your point. The Kennen is an odd one, certainly is an old favorite counter matchup into the Aatrox, as Lee Sin that we were talking about before will be locked in to confirm the sinful nature of the Griffin draft. The final pick, looking at the mid lane, Syndra an option here still. They would like to go towards it, certainly would be the cookie cutter option, but UCal has deep pockets in the mid lane.
As
the deep pockets thing was a side.
Syndra is a very good champion against Set. Now, is this where we see a pivot? Does Set go into the jungle in order to give DRX a really strong matchup in mid?
That would be super cool if Pioshik does do that.
Now, jungle is Set's weakest role. Generally, the champion, he wants base levels. Obviously, he also has a lot of need to get items.
Yep, but also does synergize very well with Sejuani and her passive that she offers. Similar to that of, you know, something like Aurelia that we talk about in the past. So you can understand why the Sejuani is locked in, and that will be your team composition this time around.
Ooh. Oh, wait. Will we see Set Yuumi and then Varus in mid lane? But Syndra counters both, so highly doubt that's what's going to happen. 3 seconds, though, remaining.
Let's see. Taking Deft off Varus certainly seems like a bad idea to me. I think that this is probably the way they want to run it. Kennen can also be in the mid lane if they would like to.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
that's an old school thing, and we did see it tried once last year, and it straight up didn't work in any way, shape, or form. As this is going to be your pretty sinful but very standard. I think the same one that Sandbox ran in their only game win of this week.
Yeah,
I believe up against Damwon, if memory serves.
The Senna Tom is going to be really interesting to see if DragonX can actually overcome it.
Yeah.
Because it is extremely oppressive. Yuumi, Varus, Set, Sejuani, and Kennen for DragonX. Definitely an enormous amount of mid-game fighting potential as well as first core item.
Yeah.
But
their teamfight wombo combo is also insane.
I'm just very curious about how mid is going to pan out here. Chovy running Ghost on Set, not going to be the teleport. That'll actually give him a lot more.
Ghost and Fleet Footwork.
Yeah. Fleet Footwork obviously to try to sustain against the Syndra.
Yeah.
And UCal running
And
Cleanse.
Deft is doing the dirty.
Deft is going lethality.
He is going lethality.
All right, well, that does change things up a little bit. Now, lethality is a bit bizarre given that the Senna is able to heal so much.
Yeah.
Gathering Storm, definitely not sinning. Boots and Biscuits going to be picked up as well.
And foregoing any of the attack speed as well as far as the rune choice, he is all in on the lethality style. And we've seen Deft do this many times. He does have a very flexible playstyle on the Varus, and we always talk about lethality Varus as being one of those like 2 items and done type champions, because once you complete them and once you get through the early game,
he got a lot of help.
Champions get too much armor.
Though, given that you can build more lethality items than when lethality Varus used to exist.
You didn't have to have just a serrated Dirk sitting there doing nothing. And also, the new and improved AD style Banshee Veil is certainly a good one.
Yeah, the Edge of Night.
Edge of Night, yeah. Works out very, very well for a Varus, because you do want to be a caster that uses AD. As Doran misses one of those, but otherwise is going to be fine. Doesn't find the Q there onto Sword. It's the first time we're going to see Doran versus Sword in an early game laning phase.
Yeah, and a very fitting matchup here. The Kennen versus the Aatrox. As Kyria on Yuumi. Catfish versus actual cat.
We'll see whether the
demon versus spirit. Well, is Varus a demon? He is.
Yeah. Well, he's
3
a demon
people.
and 2 dudes. So
yeah.
That's what Varus is.
I wonder if there's a word for that.
Yeah, I don't know what it would be.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. A chimera.
Oh, right. So you're going for something like that, like a Griffin, which is a combination of 2 animals.
Yeah. Wait, is it a Griffin? Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an eagle and a lion.
Yeah. Okay.
Generally. There's other ones like Minotaur, like you were talking about.
Oh yeah, Minotaur.
Or Chimera, depending on how you want to say
the word.
Is it
Gnosis Minotaur?
Yeah, I think he's got a Minotaur-y vibe, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Is that what they call them in like Egyptian culture? Because that's what he's a reference to, right?
Oh no, he's a jackal.
A jackal?
Yeah, he's a jackal.
Okay.
Yeah. I think. I don't. You know what?
I know he's a doggo. That's what I know.
Okay, sure.
That's all I got. As DragonX winning the laning phase, guys. It's no surprise to most of you. Chovy doing his Chovy thing, where he's just pretty good at keeping up in farm, even if he is in a counter matchup or anything like that. As Doran somehow just doesn't take damage from that final Q. Quite odd. Sword struggling right now, though. The cannon certainly working out for the most part so far. And Deft and Carrier are just putting on so much pressure down there. It will be difficult because as this game goes on, I mean, Griffin will just happily sit here and they will win the war of attrition.
Yeah.
Most likely.
And the other thing is, in the the lanes right now, Chovy is finding himself up with the CS advantage. Now Syndra is about to catch the end of this wave, so we'll see what it is at the end. But Doran already up 12 CS in top lane. And down here in bottom, Tom is, he's collecting a lot. Not really sure what the soul count is currently on Senna.
Yep. Pyro taking a fair bit of damage, as you can see there. Remember, Deft does have healing reduction in his kit. Hail of Arrows, of course, does lower that healing by a pretty considerable amount, as Doran is going to break the chains. And the cheetah recall will come through from Deft and Carrier. I think this might be serrated Dirk timing, and it is. Deft picks that one up, and the earlier you can get that item, the more valuable it is going to be as the game goes on. Bit of a gentleman's agreement there towards the bottom side as the wave is going to equalize. Both teams are going to head on home. Chovy in here in the mid lane does get himself some extra movement speed there with the Q. It is mostly just farming things out, and man, surprising that Chovy is in such a good position here in this lane, but we'll see whether as he continues to push up, and as you can see, the wave is certainly moving towards the enemy turret. We might get the eye of Tarzan on him.
And Mountain Dragon being the first one of the game is pretty important for DragonX to pick up. Mostly because of the Varus going that lethality. Kennen obviously wants as much, or he wants to deny as much possible resistances that the enemy team can pick up for his big engage.
Yep.
And the Aatrox likely to end up building resistances. Tom Kench obviously builds quite a lot of it, so. And more so for DragonX to deny it. As the longer that the game does end up going on, though.
Ooh, a fair bit of damage there onto Viper, as you can see. Piercing Darkness did fly over. We're going to miss the snare as Deft and Carrier moving pretty well, as that is a back completion that comes down from Pioshik, just ignoring the fact that the jungler did do a drive-by. Didn't want to go for a 3v3 by the looks of things. Pioshik not feeling like he's quite strong enough.
And Chovy really just with the leg up inside of this lane. UCal's mana pool management not really going that well. Double Doran's ring with a Sapphire Crystal, still running And Chovy pulling the wave, getting a freeze as he runs over to the right-hand side.
Yeah, it looks like Rip
think
Scuttle's
he
going to be
started
guaranteed there.
The Dragon, although he's not taking damage, so okay, now he has. Now, Griffin knows about this, but pay attention to how Chovy pulled the minions down towards the river and then let them reset as the wave was coming in. So it denies UCal the entire incoming wave and lets Chovy return to a freeze to retain lane advantage while picking up the neutral objective with his jungler, giving his team a little bit of an edge. And just look at this lane kingdom.
Oh my goodness. Insane advantages almost everywhere, and we're talking about Chovy as an advantage because even though he's even right now in CS, he definitely should not be. As you can see, even Pioshik on certainly a more of a scaling jungler is keeping up just fine with the Lee Sin, who is stealing his red buff. So good news for Griffin fans and for Tarzan, as Viper in a lot of trouble actually down here towards the bottom side. 200 health of damage remaining. They are going to go back. Tarzan moves into mid, but he's just transitioning towards the bottom side jungle. In fact, a lot of his camps still available as Chovy will get snared, doesn't find the facebreaker. These minions are going to go wanting. He's just going to head back home and look for his Hex Drinker. Abyssal Voyage is a short one. Getting him back to lane.
Vampiric Scepter picked up with the Sork Pen Boots on Doran, gives him a bit of hybrid damage up there in top lane. And with Ocean Dragon being the second one of the game, it is a bit lackluster.
Yeah,
I think that
got a bit of a firestorm of our potential last two Drakes.
Everyone probably hoping for Infernal to come up. Executioners was picked up on Senna. Sword just trying to trade back against the Kennen.
Yeah, so interesting seeing Senna picking up Executioners when you want one against her too, actually, in a lot of cases. Sword going to miss that particular CS. Doran will move back into this lane. Still sitting on about a similar lead as to what he had earlier on in this game. Sword actually stabilizing relatively well here in this lane, having kept up at least in levels effectively. And Doran standing out of those Q ranges pretty nicely so far. Mid lane once again, Set roaming towards the bottom side as his minion wave was in a position that he was happy to leave it in.
And Chovy with those Merc Treads has a lot of mobility over the Syndra. And don't forget the Ghost as well as the Flash. I'm really curious why perhaps they're not trying to set something up on UCal with the Ghost and Flash, given that Pioshik has been 6 for a while now. Maybe I'm about to cast for first hit, not really
potentially.
So sure.
He's looking for the mid lane. Cleanse available for UCal. As Chovy can get the old
here
flashes.
it is.
Yeah, there's the Ghost, but Chovy just going to be running around for a little while. And nothing's really going to come of it. So slight waste of a summoner, but that is not the most important one.
They're tied into our headsets, Atlas.
Yeah, I think that's how it's working. We're being fed into the Korean players. Doran, yeah, he's just farming. We'll look for Bilgewater Cutlass into his Hextech Gunblade as his first item. And we'll see where he goes from there.
Another thing that I'm hopeful for is that Chovy does build the Trinity Force and not the Black Cleaver.
Oh, heck yeah. And with the fleet footwork, it would make a lot of sense as well.
Oh!
As there's the last chapter, and Yucal, oh, from downtown is Pioshik, but it's a decent ultimate coming through from the center.
Oh, Tarzan!
Showstopper not going to work out as there. The Lee Sin grabbing that first blood. Tarzan with 100 health is able to walk away, and Griffin, although they're limping, they do pick up more money in the fight.
And you know what ended up happening there is DRX, I'm pretty sure, blanked on the cleanse with the added...
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, so that was a very surprising sequence of events, and it will be the Trinity Force for the set.
Thank goodness. So we have a look at this replay once again.
So they come in. Obviously, they lock up with the Yumi ultimate.
You're right. You're exactly right. He was trying to get that flash showstopper, but Yucal, because he had the extra tenacity, wasn't actually able to go down.
Well, definitely a bit debated as GLP 800 picked up for Syndra.
Yeah, he's got a Super Soaker already. I believe the aquatic skin was also taken. Oh,
yes.
It was angelic
Atlantean
in the item choices.
Syndra, I do believe, is considered advantageous by players.
Really?
Harder to see certain particles or something. Or maybe it's just inside of the river. I don't know. Let's watch as Syndra maybe casts a ball here.
Yeah, the orbs are a little bit, I guess, more difficult to see than some of the others. Don't know whether it's considered too advantageous, but you take any lead you can possibly get, I assume. Deft with his Ghost Blade already done. Magical Footwear has been applied. Varus with extra movement speed, always a good idea. As you can see, he's about 20 CS in the lead of his lane opponent. You can see that the similar story is true for Doran. Up towards topside.
Oh, Chovy might die.
Hit by the Super Soaker right now.
Oh.
The ultimate's going to miss from Pioshik. He does find Tarzan there as Chovy gets the Haymaker off in time to get the shield. Pioshik with his flash available. Not going to be taken just yet. Are you all right?
Tarzan with the Darth Vader move right there.
Mm-hmm.
Saving Luke.
Saving his son.
Yeah. He says, no, no, no.
Yep.
You need to live.
Carries him off to the edge of the abyss.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Wonder whether they can rebuild him. As Deft will take the Rift Scuttler. Pioshik going to move on down here as well. Ocean Drake going to be started, and we'll find out what our soul is going to be this game after this does go down. As you can see, Tarzan in no position to stop this one as Facebreaker will clear out the minion wave. And it is going to be that Infernal Soul as Deft moving on down as the ultimate at the ready in the hands of his little cat on a book. As the ultimate flies forward as well. It's a great layering of CC, but the Devour is going to play them there just a little bit. The flash showstopper comes in from Chovy, who gets the Haymaker onto the center. Pioshik now in trouble, down to about 400, but Zoomies are going to be there.
Oh.
And Yucal's making his way in. The Q going to land onto Pioshik.
They
Carrier
can't.
looking to block.
This is really big tempo swing as well. Shutting down Senna, making her just disappear from the lane. It stunts everything about the dynamic. Normally she's so stable and able to live for so long in bottom without ever really feeling any danger. Coming in here, they were trying to just crash a wave and get a recall off. Deft and Carry out locking them up. Pioshik trying to lock up the Tom Kench, and just watch what Viper tries to do. He tries to flash out of the suplex from Chovy. Haymaker still able to finish him off, and you can just see Yucal a little bit late. Now, I'm curious if the Syndra QE glitch terrain thingy would have reached for a stun.
Maybe.
And then replay here, Yucal almost ended up dying.
And the back was stopped as well, so it actually means a lot even though the kill didn't go down. Deft able to give Chovy a little bit more time to get back on track in the mid lane. Giant Spelled actually augmenting the build of this set for the moment, making sure that that health bar is as large as possible.
Yeah, the Giant Spell was actually super interesting.
Just decided that he didn't really want to Sheen.
He did not.
Sometimes you don't.
That's Sheen at home.
cooldown reduction is pretty good, I hear, for champions that don't have mana. I don't know. Well, Pioshik's coming towards the top side. Bilgewater Cutlass going to be used. Flash immediately answered there by Doran as Pioshik is going to get underneath this turret and he's very tanky. Good night, Sword. Easy gank there for Miss Piggy and Pikachu. And they will push this lane up.
And DRX just slowly getting advantages all across the map. Yumu's completed down there for Deft. Has Executioners as well.
Carrier with a pretty nice weaving of the prowling projectile to make sure he could land it onto Viper there as Pioshik going to start off Shirley, I believe, unless no one has taken a Herald so far this game. Maybe it is just Shell. Yeah, they backed away, didn't they? Tarzan looking for Chovy, gets the face breaker, Haymaker comes in as it is going to be Pioshik that locks down that one. Flash has to be utilized though, as Tarzan was thinking about following but decides not to. And another final chapter here towards the bottom side of the map as Viper just goes underwater and is going to be all right.
Oh, everyone missing.
Yeah. I like the idea. Trying to play around the Devour as Chovy, he's moving bot. He's flashing immediately to get into this one, and as Deft is going to be snared. The ultimate out from Viper, but the Dawning Shadow's not going to be enough as Irove trying to lick Deft to death. Tarzan trying to come down here as well, as we'll see whether Zoomies come in on time. There we go, Showstopper comes down, but Irove still had his stopwatch available as Deft trying to trade one back. They knew that someone had to die.
Yeah.
And the Yuumi is going to save herself this time around. Yukal waiting in the wings. I need to try and get some sort of kill, but
Yukal,
have to flash in the end, just biting off more than he can chew.
The set very oppressive right now in this game. Chovy just
Giants
12.
belt, man. He's got this big belt on.
Yeah.
No one was expecting.
He needed the Giants belt so he didn't blow out his back when he lifted Tom.
Hey, that's it.
See?
That's it. And remember,
exactly it.
This is Sir Thomas as well. This is not Timothy Kenshin, who's a bit lighter. Like, you know, Sir Thomas is eating his fill. Absolutely. As this one was pretty easy. This one was a bit of a comedy of errors before it all started off.
Yeah, Chovy flashes over, gets onto Viper, who tries to live as long as he can. Deft making a huge mistake. Lost so much HP. And then at this point, he knows that he's dead. He knows Yukal's coming. Tarzan on the left-hand side. And Rose let go of Jack right there.
Yeah.
As that ship was sinking. We are not going to it.
Unfortunately as well, it was another one of those cases of Keria on the Yuumi having turret aggro. So I had to get out of the way as there's the last chapter. Speaking of Yuumi, Devour going to come in there as Irove is doing his very best to survive as Viper was able to make the Tahm Kench untargetable for that little moment. But remember, if you're devoured, Tahm Kench doesn't move very fast anymore. Unfortunately, that was a nerf that did come in a little while ago. So a little bit like a stopwatch rather than any sort of real escape tool as the first Infernal Drake going to go over to DragonX. As Sword has the World Ender popped, now looking to try and fight back 1 versus 2. But I really love the mitigation of moving away from that slicing Maelstrom, and the kill is going to be delivered to the Aatrox. Good Abyssal Voyage there from Irove, understanding that there wasn't a flash on the cannon.
And now, Rift Herald being summoned down in bot lane. Obviously no plates available. Chovy gonna try to get away from this, get stunned.
Yeah, doesn't have Ghost available just yet. Just ults himself. As Tarzan gonna get pulled back by the Facebreaker, has to kick defensively. As Chovy with his Trinity Force power spike certainly demonstrating why we call it exactly that.
Set. It's really strong right now at this stage of the game.
Koshik coming on down here as Viper. Underwater again, trying to hide from all of this danger. Top lane out of turret is going to fall, but here's the dive. Good night, sweet Viper. That's what happens when you get an empowered Q to the face from Lethality Varus. It hurts. Like a lot.
And now, Irove just wandering, looking for anything to do. Not going to really find that much. And the nature of this team composition, when Senna falls this far behind, everything falls apart. You have an Aatrox that does nothing against the enemy team. He can't get onto Varus. Everyone else is already going to be hugging him, and he doesn't get any purpose out of it. I think Kennen is also even, well, taking a look at this replay. This was the teleport coming in, Sword running away from the lightning. Honestly, it's a little unfair, 2-on-1.
Yeah,
what
I know,
a tag
right?
team.
Yeah. That being said, it was actually well played by Sword to sort of bait the Slicing Maelstrom and then back away. Guarantee that no 2v1 was available for the Cannon. What the heck? That was over a third health.
Yeah.
Senna's pretty squishy.
Well.
Jeepers. 1 health.
Creepers.
And taken by Yuko. Yeah, what about them
Infernal
sneakers?
Soul is coming up in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
That is an extremely early soul, and you can bet your bottom dollar that DRX are probably going to be the ones that end up getting it.
They do have a lot more map control, especially towards the bottom side of the map. Taking that inner turret certainly was helpful in that regard. Still have to wait 2.5 minutes as Viper gets obliterated by yet another piercing arrow.
Now, the other thing about this right now is I really like that Deft built the Umbral Glaive second on Varus rather than a traditional Duskblade of Drakthar, as, hold on, they're trying to bully Doran here.
Yep, I've seen this one before, but now able to get the Slicing Maelstrom off. There's the Lightning Storm as well, and Doran, he's going to get flashed after. Dawning Shadow comes in for a bit of extra damage, as Sword does lock down the kill onto the cannon. In the meantime, though, the outer turret in the mid lane is taken here by DragonX. As the ultimate comes forward, oh, the last chapter's fantastic. The transition of the ultimate onto Yukal as well. As Pyosik still very tanky, able to tank a lot of damage. But Deft can't find the Q there, so Yukal will survive and walk away, but damn, it looked cool. Out of that Yuumi. And Viper, oh man, just chunked by everything right here. Trying to get this turret to go down, but the Q is what is wanted. Not able to grab the kill onto the center. She was devoured in time by Iroh, but the inner turret is going to fall. It's 2 turrets in favor of DragonX in that extended trade. As a kill and a turret, probably not as much gold going into the pockets of Griffin.
Doran is trying to push out this wave. He's a real non-factor in this game, though. Everything happening around him without really contributing all that much. Much like Ash's Pikachu. Only comes in when he's needed.
Yeah, and also, like, you know, somehow able to shoot electric attacks at an Onyx. My immersion was destroyed in that particular moment, as this was so good. It was before it was even taken down. Last chapter transitioned over to Yukal. Not able to get the CC, of course, because you need a couple of rounds of it before that one does come in. However, still a very fun engagement by the Yuumi. Carrier showing that he certainly does have that power as Deft takes down the blue buff for himself. Certainly very, very, very valuable on the lethality. Varus goes through mana extraordinarily quickly without a Mura mana.
Well,
okay,
Griffin
for some sort of engage. Yeah, ult comes down from Deft.
This is going to be a slaughter.
Well, Pyosik is going to come in for the flank, but he misses the ult, yeah. Showstopper into the backline, the flash forward into the facebreaker from Chovy. They eliminate Tarzan very early in this fight. Deft was CC'd for a while as the flash out does happen, but Pyosik is not going to survive for the minute, but there's the Slicing Maelstrom. Doran not quite finding the positioning there, and Sword turns it in the backline. Chovy surviving for a long time as Deft not actually able to find too many autos. Remember, he does mostly want to hit these spells. It's not the consistent damage that you'd normally expect. And that was a one fight for Griffin. Yeah,
Griffin did end up winning. Pyosik whipping his ultimate was a...
Sword just leashed the Infernal Soul. I think that's what that was. Yeah.
Oh, teleport now coming in, though, from Sword. Oh!
Yeah, we are going to get the Infernal Soul. Iroh down to about half health as in goes Sword. Dawning Shadow lands. Deft is very, very dead. And Chovy is just going to walk away, but probably worth it, honestly, to lock down that Infernal Soul at 25 minutes.
Undoubtedly worth to get that Infernal Soul. Teleport coming in from Doran just to be in close proximity in case Griffin tried any funny stuff with Baron. And with that Infernal Drake, it's probably going to be really hard to lose future team fights.
Likely, but we'll see how Griffin are going to be able to play that one out because they did manage to win the last one. Sword going down to about half health underneath the turret, but it is going to be taken. Brute force from Griffin, but are able to do it. They're now 2,000 gold behind. This one much closer than game number 1 as Deft is up again in 1 second's time. Sword trying to get over this wall. Will Umbral dash as now Chovy is just racing after him. Chovy certainly wanted to kill Sword quite a few times, but he does the ring around. Cue the Yakety Sax, everyone, as Sword is able to just juke his way to safety.
And Griffin, it's pretty hard to imagine a world where they can come back in this game. Obviously, it would be off the back end of probably a pickoff via Tarzan and UCal. But just really hard to imagine given most of the targets they would be likely to pick off, not really to be in a position to where that should be feasible, as Sword honestly had such a good wake up here. Pioshik just going way too far forward, didn't have the damage. Chovy not getting the kind of value out of that haymaker that he would have liked had he held on to it. Could have been a little bit more valuable. Sword getting more kills inside of this fight, but then eventually leashed the Infernal, which allowed Deft.
The problem with that fight was that Doran really wanted to kill Sword and then let 3 people survive that he could have hit with his ultimate instead of actually, you know, hitting with his ultimate.
Yes.
It's not so good. Maybe a little bit of emotion playing a part in this particular matchup. But Infernal Soul is a huge deal. Getting an Elder Drake this early is also pretty crazy. It will be ticking over at about 30 minutes. Zyro possibly in trouble. Doran lightning rushing towards him. Slows coming in. You can see all of these Infernal Souls proccing on the Tahm Kench, but he's very strong. Remember, has a lot of farm, a lot of money.
Yeah.
For a support, so he's going to survive down to half health, but doesn't really matter. He's got a lot of sustain around him.
And
one of the problems with this DragonX composition is that they don't necessarily have a lot of Baron damage. Like their Baron DPS isn't super high, given Deft leaning towards the lethality style rather than just the raw DPS that you'd have.
Yeah.
That's an Abyssal Mortgage though, as Irove's going to deliver Tarzan to the mid lane. Looks like they do want this fight though on the side of DragonX. Irove going down very low as Doran's looking for a flanking opportunity. Last chapter comes in, but UCal is going to be able to cleanse to get out of it. Now Irove, he's just getting chased, but Dove gets the Devour onto Sword. He has the World Ender as now Chovy trying to find a target for that showstopper. He gets on top of the Tahm Kench, bonks their heads together as Sword is going to go golden, but he's not going to survive this time. UCal, half their health bar, a lot of damage available, but Pioshik, he's very tanky right now, even had the zoomies on top of him. And Sword is the only one to die, but DragonX still feeling good about claiming control of this map. All right, maybe trying to find another fight here. Griffin.
Oh,
as in goes Tarzan. The Arctic Assault was fantastic to interrupt. And now Teleport going to be used to come back into this fight. Iroh back on in once again with a full health bar. And he's got his Gargoyle Stone Plate as well. It's very, very, very tanky Tahm Kench.
Even after killing Sword, their immediate response, a bit suboptimal. They dance around for a little bit, no attempt to really try to get Baron. This means Elder's going to be coming up, so if DragonX botch a team fight and lose the Elder, it is a bit of a scary situation. It's going to depend on the minion waves. Let's take a look at this team fight one more time. Pioshik putting it in as application for the Patriots with that field goal as just whips on everything. Chovy finally manages to salvage this though. He picks up the catfish, claps his face together with the Darken. Sword eventually brought down, and then immediately after this, they dance around in posture for quite a while longer.
Yeah, and a bit of an attempted re-engage there from Tarzan, but was interrupted on his way back forward. Sword going to respawn and shoves out this top wave, as you can see. As this game goes on, Deft is going to be less and less valuable in comparison to that of the Senna, whose scales basically as long as you want. But they don't, neither team necessarily has that quintessential, you know, crit-based AD carry that's really going to thrive in a late game scenario. So working out exactly where the scaling is an interesting prospect. What I want to see though is for Doran to actually go for these flanks. You saw him he had a flanking opportunity and then decided to go the safe way around. I want to see him try and get into that back line and really try and make things work, as now Sword is dead,
Sword
guys.
caught out.
Yeah, the Abyssal
Trying
Voyage
to
is
make
going
it.
to come in, but yeah, no Infernal Chains are going to save you from that one. Yoshik is snared, but he's not too worried. Chovy with the Haymaker, tanking a lot of damage here as Viper gets most of his health bar removed from 1Q. And that is going to mean the base is broken here on the bottom side. The Baron inhibitor, as our good friend Froskerin would say, is going to be taken. Set is going to grab that last hit. Now Tarzan desperately trying to find any opportunity to dissuade DragonX from just walking towards Baron and winning the game.
And so can they find their way to the Elder Dragon?
Oh, Elder is live as well. Oh my goodness. Not used to focusing on it. And there's the route, the Glacial Prison. Lands onto Irova's Viper. Gets obliterated by the showstopper Doran. Gets Viper to flash out of the fight. No more of that damage is going to be available. And now Yukal taken as well. DragonX flashing after targets left, right, and center. Irove going to be the next one. Permafrost is going to come down, but Sword has just respawned. Can he actually do anything here in this moment? But no, Deft is so safe in that back line. And the teleport through from Doran here as well. I mean, it looks to me like DragonX, they just want to win right now.
Yeah, they really do. DragonX, they have the minion wave, they have the super minion. Yukal is the real key component that would help them hang on here. Viper is just tickling them.
Yeah, Carrier also just dancing around this fight as well on this Yuumi. Sword has to flash to get back towards his fountain. Double stopwatches utilized as Sword. That's not going to help defend your Nexus, my friend, and the 2-0 will come through for DragonX. As you can see, that is a very happy CVMAX on your screen right there. Deft and Carrier having a pretty incredible day, to be honest. On the bottom side of the map, a lot of congratulations there from CVMAX as well. But damn, our friend Chovy was not greeted by his doppelganger in Choki today.
Yeah, Choki,
Chovy was in fact there the whole time.
Every time he tries to come in. So Riot doing a fantastic job with the security here.
I think what Choki might have coronavirus, so it trips all the senses on his way in. And so of course Choki not allowed. Chovy, however, temperatures perfect.
Oh no.
No worries there at all. And damn, did he have a good performance. Carrier as well. I mean, his Yuumi looked brilliant this game. But some of those showstoppers into the backline, some of the flashes that worked out oh so well, and surviving a lane against a Syndra, even on CS as set, is just honestly extraordinary.
He was beating Yukal. Syndra versus Set. His itemization was really good as well. The Giant's Belt, I'm a little curious what the reasoning was at that specific moment.
He might have calculated a Syndra combo to try and make sure that he didn't die to a combo or something.
Well, Syndra can't lethal him from full.
He has Haymaker, right? So you see the ult coming at you and you press Haymaker and generally you should be fine.
Yeah, it was a bit surprising. Overall, I gave my MVP again to Chovy.
Me too. I'm not going to be made a fool of again.
I don't think that you can give it to Pioshik because he missed way too many ultimates.
Yep. I think there is an argument for Carrier.
There's an argument for Carrier. I think the only other argument is Carrier, but so many things that Carrier was a part of was actually initiated and started by Chovy.
That's the thing, because Chovy's the pilot of Carrier's ship in most of those instances. So giving Yuumi player of the game is a very perplexing
The captain.
thing. Yeah. Yeah, he's the captain of the ship.
Captain, not the pilot.
Oh.
Yeah.
That mean does that mean that DragonX are at the ship? I mean, we are going to the ship, remember? Well, I have to buy you a ticket because you won the bet.
Yeah, that is true, right, yeah.
Be going to the ship relatively soon.
Yes.
And I've also got the book with the plans, and so now I can take them on the ship in order to
What do you have?
The book.
Oh.
What is it? How are you supposed to catch anything from a book? You know?
Yeah.
I think you are very scared of books, LS. That's what I
Sure.
We've
still
got a few screens to go through first, okay? You can do your weird I'm gonna leave thing later. Because we need to work out what this has done for the standings. Means that our DragonX are certainly solidified in that third place right now. As Chovy, you can see what he was trying to do there. It wasn't quite enough. And Griffin certainly put up far more of a fight than they did in game number 1, but it still was one of those things where it felt a little bit inevitable.
Yeah, that is...
I think Carrier is going to get player of the game.
You think so?
I think so.
Great.
I think I may have... I think I should.
You might have jinxed it, and I really hope that you didn't, because Chovy just did so much, saving so many team fights. Face breakers on point, superplexes, flashing walls. Come on.
He did
what
certainly.
is not to like?
He did certainly just flash a wall and run at Viper and kill it. That did definitely happen while Deft was busy getting killed by a very strong Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench certainly a different beast these days, as Chovy will be first place by himself if he wins here today.
Yeah.
In this particular game. Already picked up the MVP or the player of the game for the first one.
This was a bit of a weird interaction. Iroh had his Deadman's plate fully stacked as he came out of that. So, a bit surprising. This was the team fight, I believe, that almost brought Griffin back in. Chovy just doing so much, Tarzan being brought down immediately. Pioshik just going way too far in on Sortie and no damage whatsoever. No business doing that either.
Yeah, a very weird engagement from Doran. Seeing here, baited by wanting to kill his former shared top laner on Griffin, instead of trying to finish off the kill onto Viper or killing Yukal or killing Iroh or doing any of those things, it would have been a little bit better. As that was a showstopper right into the back line there for Chovy. It did look like the phalanx was set up for Griffin in this particular moment, but this is honestly where the game all fell apart.
And Sword was
Here
down.
it was over.
So, they're just talking with each other at this point, not about...
What are we going to get for dinner later?
오케이. 타워부터? 타워. 나 그냥 뒤에서 만년 소리나 쓸게. 나 죽겠다.
캐터 왜 할까? 너가 타고 대라. 잠깐만 나 타워 만다. 야,
이거 끊었다.
나 끝났어.
아, 넥서스.
아, 죽여. 얌전히 있어.
아이,
얌전히 있어. 아, 죽여. 나이스.
Deft definitely all business, but he did do double his lane opponent's damage, which isn't too bad.
He did.
Varus certainly working out this game.
Did a lot of damage, but he was also the only champion that could reliably do it all the time.
I mean, he's Varus.
Yeah.
Lethality Varus always destroys damage grabs.
Yes.
If you want to be top of the meters at the end of your game, just play this.
Teemo.
Yeah, Teemo works as well.
Teemo is very good.
And stay away
Teemo's
from
a
your
great champion.
teammates.
Lots of skins.
Yeah, lots of skins. The BMO is absolutely adorable.
I love Teemo.
I like Super Teemo.
I love Satan Teemo.
Yeah, Satan Teemo certainly does suit it, doesn't it?
Actually, BMO's the cutest.
BMO is very
BMO
cute.
is cuddly.
Yeah.
BMO might even bring you honey, which helps for casting.
Hey, that's true. Honey, hot water, bitter lemon, you know, not bad at all. Not bad at all.
True.
But what also wasn't bad was the timing of today's matches. It certainly was a pretty quick time here. 2-0, 2-0. We don't get that very often. It is going to be Carrier. I was a little bit worried that it might go to someone other than Carrier or Chovy, but I'm absolutely fine with Carrier picking this one up. Some of his last chapters were amazing, and we really haven't had a Yuumi player that was really up at Lehenz's caliber until now.
Yeah. And we have found out that Chovy missed it by 2 votes.
Yep, 2 votes.
We had 3 votes in mid. 2 of them are us.
And one person tried to give it to Deft.
Yeah.
Which is perfect, because you always need someone trying to give it to Deft. At every point, okay? That has to happen. It was Jonas Strong, of course, one of our observers.
Well,
he's my boy. Actually, I think Jonas Strong was one of the Chovy voters from back in the day, so he's redeeming himself now.
Okay.
With the vote for Deft. That's able to throw that one back. Huge shout out to Jonas Strong, our observers, certainly some of the best in the business here in the LCK. And guess what? The next piece of LCK content that you guys can get your hands on is the Hog State, which which is coming up very soon. We have a little bit of a tease. We've got some real, it's boomer material. It's real good. Some good stuff, but we have some good chats there as well. So let's have a look at the standings. DragonX are going to solidify themselves in third place, as we mentioned before, 6-2. Now on their scoreline, hot on the heels of Gen.G and T1. Afrika trailing just behind, and Damwon are a match ahead of KT, as the left-hand side of the bracket certainly looking like they are streaking away from the right-hand side, as we've got 3-5, 3-5, 2-6, 2-6, and 1-7. Some struggling teams here in the LCK for this season. Let's have a look at what we're in for next week.
So this next upcoming week has a lot of value on the bottom standing teams right now. Griffin is going to go up against KT. APK
well, DragonX Damwon is also
KT
huge
well.
for the standings as well.
Yes, DragonX Damwon is massive. Hanwha Life versus APK, really big match for Hanwha Life to try to edge them closer to moving onto the west side of the bracket.
And Afrika can play big spoiler against T1 as well. And looking at Sandbox's form, it's likely that Gen.G wins that match, and then T1 will have to compete for exactly the same scoreline or better than Gen.G in order to reclaim that top spot, because they are so close in the standings right now.
And a bit of a juggernaut matchup there with Gen.G versus DragonX.
Yeah.
On Saturday.
That's a big one, because we are going to be, of course, resetting. We're going to be running around this round robin one more time, and I'm very excited to see what's going to happen, because I really feel like as the weeks have moved on, we have shaken out sort of the better teams from this huge change that we had from 2019 to 2020. There were so many questions.
Well, we're getting a lot of questions answered.
Yeah.
And I am just curious to see what the top of the standings are going to shake up within the next couple of weeks, because there's still a lot of questions there.
Yeah. Just questions, questions, questions.
Yeah.
Questions that need answering. And I'll leave you with that Gandalf quote, as we will see you back here again on Wednesday.
And I am ready to take it on. You told me to be myself and never feel alone. You're all that I want, you're all that I need. If I was ever